Hola, mi amigos. Welcome to the back stateside edition of Behind the Boots. I won't talk a lot about surveying, but I'm going to give a review on a bucket list trip that I made with my son and my brother-in-law, uh, and another fellow that works with him in the real estate realty building industry here in Central Mississippi. Uh, wow, where do I start? Well, I'll start this. They don't have Coors Light in South America that I noticed. We were enjoying some cervezas. One of them was a local brew, Cordoba, sold them only in tall boys. Mucho grande cerveza. Something that came in a bottle about the size of a 750 liter wine bottle called Brahma, yeah. Mucho good, mucho good. I will tell y'all this. This was my first trip outside of I don't know. It's been maybe 10, 15 years ago. Me and my wife hopped one of those cruise ships out of New Orleans and went down to Cozumel and spent a day. Scared the shit out of me. But I don't know why. I got shots of tequila, some Indian blankets, and bottles of tequila, and gave people lots of money that I couldn't do the exchange rate on. But I learned how to do it on this trip here. So, at any rate, Chad asked me to do a behind the boots segment on dove hunting in Argentina. I'm not certain how this can go into my normal surveying videos, other than when we were first down there, got off the airplane, and hell, that was a hell of a damn airplane ride, by the way. I think we took somewhere like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, hopped a flight to Atlanta. Yeah, hot Atlanta. And then jumped the red eye from Atlanta straight to Buenos Aires. Then we swapped airports and went to the domestic airport in Buenos Aires instead of the international airport, and flew over to Cordoba, Providence. And then we took a 2-hour truck ride, and I could go into real detail about how I really screwed up buying tickets and had to get another flight, things like that. Was worried and trying to figure out how I could get in touch with the U.S. consulate in case I couldn't figure out how to get back, or either I was going to sleep in an airport for a week and not even get to shoot a dove. But no, it turned out really well. We come rolling in at about 1 o'clock in the morning in the lodge. I missed my first supper, had that at the airport, which was very good, very good. And mini cervezas while waiting, 4 or 5 hours for a connecting flight. And that was just that's a little minor hiccup in the trip. But I'll tell you what, hiccups on an international trip will make that old butt clench up real tight. You just sit there and think, what have I done? Where am I at? And what am I going to do? How am I going to get home? But aside from that, it all worked out smooth. A lot of good folks down there with the guide service that my brother-in-law set us up with, and I'm wearing their hat right here. It's Norte Hunts, or Norte Hunters, and top class folks. They'll really take care of you. I mean, what can I say? I had never stayed at one of those sandals resorts where they just, they bring you drinks, they cook you the best food and stuff like that. I've always been like, well, we're going to run down to Pensacola for the weekend, or Perdido, or Gulf Shores, or Orange Beach, or something like that. I'm not saying I hadn't been nowhere. I went to see Jimmy Buffett from Pascagoula, Mississippi, do a concert in Las Vegas, Nevada one time. just because hell, what can you do? Go see Buffett in Las Vegas. But yeah, so I mean, I've traveled a little bit, but most of my traveling is done, out here in central Mississippi, running up and down the road, seeing all the woods and things like that. And I'm going to give a shout out to my old buddy Don, who is building a dove field this year. Watching him do it on the internet, he's bragging about all the work he's putting into it and things like that. I hope you get a 32nd of the doves that I saw flying in South America. I'll tell you this, I've done a little skeet shooting. Used to like to duck hunt a lot back before I got old and fat and just plain too lazy to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, put all that crap together and lug it off going to find a good duck hole and then praying that the greenheads would be flying. But this right here, this is definitely was a bucket list trip. So we get to the lodge. Like I said, it's getting 1 o'clock in the morning. And by the way, if you're a smoker like I am, and you go into an airport at 2:30, and it's over with. It's over with like 8 o'clock the next morning. That's tough. But then you go to another airport to get on something after you've had a couple smokes, and then you end up sitting there, and it's 1 o'clock the next day. We're going to have a cigarette. Man, that's tough. That's tough. But I survived. One would say, well, Eric, you could have used this opportunity to put down those old cancer sticks or whatnot. But, stress relievers. That's what I call them. They're just my little old stress relievers. But they did serve cerveza in the airports. Plentiful. That's where I learned how much a peso was worth in American dollars, was how much I had to pay for beer when I get them to do the exchange rate. That kind of gave me a little heads up on the way things go. And by the way, there's 2 exchange rates in Argentina. There's the official exchange rate and there's the black market exchange rate. We don't, up here, we generally don't think a lot about things like that, because a dollar's worth a dollar. What can I get for a dollar? When I went to Mexico, we haggled. You could haggle with somebody on the street. Well, like, I'll give you this or I'll give you that. Or would you take this or would you take that? But, almost officially, non-officially down there are 2 exchange rates, the U.S. dollar. If you walk into an airport and buy a drink, a peso is going to be worth about 230 American dollars. So, wow, that's a lot. Yeah, well, then you look up there at the price of something, it's $1,400 pesos. You have 1,400 pesos. So, you just kind of sort of got to do your math. It's kind of like converting, U.S. survey feet to international feet back to meters or something when you're doing some state plane calculations or something like that. But all that aside, if you are on the streets and you're going to some vendor or something like that, seriously, if you've got pesos, they'll take your pesos, But if you've got U.S. dollars, well, let me go in here and see what I'll take for that. The reason is, and like I said, it's like people say, well, it's like going to another country. It was like going to another country. The reason is, although we're griping a lot about our inflation here, and it's horrible. It's horrible. I know y'all know it's horrible. Hell, I've had to raise my rates 3 times since I got back yesterday because of that damn inflation. But their inflation down there is just super bad. It's super bad. And you sort of feel sorry for somebody. But here's the thing. They cannot trade a peso for a U.S. dollar, on the open market. So if they wind up getting U.S. dollars, $5, $10, $20, whatever they get, then it is, that's really great. because they can turn around and go sell that US dollar to someone who would like that power of that US dollar for more than the pesos are worth. But there is a limit. And I believe we were told it was around 200 US dollars a month. So if you think about that, if I come through town and I drop $200 out there to you, yeah, you sort of hold on to those dollar bills, $5 bills, whatever, and you know you're a little slim in the month on what you're making on your regular income. You got to go trade off some of those, and then boom, you're getting good money for it. My son was down there with me, and he had this fantastic idea that what we ought to do is just go down there and take 500 US dollars and trade them for pesos on the black market exchange, the gray market, the non-official rate. Or we take all our pesos, and when we get back to the airport, we go over there and say, hey, we're going back to America, we want to trade in our pesos. And then get the other rate coming back, which would mean you could double your money. Oh man, yeah, that would have been a wonderful little scam of how to do things. Only problem is they will not sell you US dollars for pesos. They will buy US dollars for pesos, but they won't sell you US dollars for pesos. And from what I understand, that I've got a few thousand pesos here, mainly for, you know, I brought them back. Got 1,000 peso, got a 50 peso, got a few $100 pesos. I got about 2,000 in pesos in the house, and they're basically like, this commemorates my trip to Argentina, because there's nowhere that you can trade a Argentinian peso for a US dollar. So that aside, if you think you're going to go down there and launder some money, it ain't going to happen. Can't do that. It's illegal, and they will not give you US dollars for your pesos, but they will give you pesos for your US dollars. So, but the big thing is to buy from unofficial locales that will take the US dollar, or either you can go to certain places that will buy the US dollar and they'll give you more pesos that you can pay for the same thing. So, you know, that was kind of weird. That was kind of weird, especially when you're trying to just, hey, I want to buy a beer, I want to buy a T-shirt to bring back or something like that. And then you say, well, you take US dollars. Oh, they were happy to take US dollars. And one thing I found interesting was that at this one particular place, we had a guide that was down there with us, and you know, the language barrier. I probably should learn to speak Spanish. Hell, I'm in Scott County, Mississippi. God knows, it's probably, you know, almost more prevalent here than my Southern English is. But I was buying something. I think it was $33, and I ought to go get it and show it to you, but I'm not going to do it. I bought a belt made from, you know, handmade leather belt down there. Ended up paying $27 for it. If you go online and you look for handmade crafted leather materials here, you ought to know that, you know, for $30 you're getting some leather coated junk that, you know, is not really good. I mean, you can't go in JCPenney on the Memorial Day sale and get a $27 leather belt. Well, I mean, I had a 20 and a 10. I said US dollars, CCC, and it was of course changed back in pesos. I'm keep $3. Keep $3. Tell you what, people will go nuts over $3. So, that being said, God bless America. Maybe it makes us a little more wasteful than we ought to be, because my guy was like, oh, no, don't give her that. Get your pesos back and you can spend them on something else. And I was saying, no. What I'd rather do is for this great quality and this stuff that I'm getting down here. Argentina is known for its leather production, cattle raising, and of course the steaks. We'll get into that here in a second. I don't want to make this video too long, but my God. But anyway, it kind of felt good. You know, keep the change, and then they were just so happy. And hey, if I tossed a little bit into their economy while I was out having the time of my life, so be it. But there are some things down there that are not cheap. Now, I'm not going to knock this. This isn't a bad review on anything. But I'll just go ahead and tell you, if you're going down there to bird hunt, oh, they got the birds. And they've got the shotguns and the shotgun shells. They don't give shotgun shells away, though. Number 8, 20 gauge, 1 and 7 ounce, 1 and 7/8 ounce, skeet shooting junk that we take for granted. Here's $18 a box. So they're going to make a little bit off of you while you're down there. And if you shoot 500 a day, just do the math and figure out how much you can spend on shotgun shells. Wow. Your guy's loading it, and I'm talking about you never have to load a gun yourself. I mean, you're boom, boom, boom. Bring the gun down, and he's over there. 3 shells back in it, you're ready to go again. And then it's, he's coming, sir, he's coming, sir, he's coming. He's coming, sir, he's coming, sir. And you may shoot doves, you may shoot parakeets. No shooting eagles, though. Don't shoot an eagle, big problem. Big problemo. There are certain things you can shoot that, no problem. But we won't get into all that. I've never met a group of people that were so easy to, or so they wanted so much to please their guest. I have stayed in hotels and places here in the United States, and it seems like this maybe I'll tie this into surveying a little bit. That seems to take their clientele for granted. You bring money, you give it to me, I give you this. The people down there where sometimes we can have bad service. I didn't have any bad service. There was nothing that they weren't so appreciative that we were coming to spend our money. That we'll give you the world if we can. And this is right down to day number 2. It was a slow hunt. Thank God, because I don't know if I could afford another $1,000 worth of shotgun shells. But it was bend over backwards to make the last day be something I had never seen in a dove field in my life. You might see something on video where they show you some pictures of it. Until you've seen it in person, you really just cannot appreciate tens of thousands of birds just completely flying all over you, and your whole objective is just to shoot them. I said I couldn't make this about surveying when we initially got down. The guy, of course, that was doing our transit from airport to airport and kind of giving us a little something to do, take us around town, show us a little of the historical sites in Buenos Aires before we hopped the flight on over to the lodge area. Of course, he asked everybody, what they did, and then, I remember my brother-in-law said, well, he's a general contractor builder, builds houses. My son, of course, he was a college student, and our other guy there was in Florida tile, and did that, in construction, residential construction and things like that. And when he got to me, I said, well, I'm a land surveyor. Nope. No habla? Nope. No, or whatever. No understande? Can't remember exactly what he said. He didn't understand it. I think one of the issues may be that one thing we take for granted up here, life, liberty, property, is that folks don't get that opportunity down there. Now, whereas we were on a piece of property, it was probably hundreds and hundreds of acres, one of the biggest cornfields I'd ever seen, and up here, the game wardens would be behind every stalk of corn you were here. It just wouldn't be none of this, that kind of hunting being done up here. But I got the feeling that nobody owned anything. Every time we spoke with somebody about a piece of property, it was leased. everything. We've got a lease. We've got when my lease runs out, I can move to another place or something like that. There was no, this is mine, because generally we just rode across everywhere. You know, if there was a gate, you get out, you unlock the gate, drive through the next field. Unlock the gate, drive through the next field. There was nothing like we have here. So the concept of a surveyor coming and marking out property, it just wasn't really understanding that or whatever. I think I got it across, saying that we measured stuff. Oh, we measured stuff. So that's about how I got it off. You know, boundary surveying really didn't make a big impression one way or another. And apparently not many surveyors drop that kind of money to run down there and just shoot the crap out of shotgun shells. So, but it was a wonderful trip. One thing I brought back with me. Before I get to that, let's get to the steak. Let's get to the fact that I thought I could barbecue. I thought I could throw a steak on the grill. I thought I was A1, number one. Nobody's better than me. I've ate at the finest restaurants and turned my nose up to it. Because when I can get on, when I'm doing right, when I get my grill going, and get my temperature just right, and I've got the proper shakedown on it and everything, there's nobody better than me. And I know all of y'all are probably the same. Let me tell you something. Those gauchos down there wrangle them cows, skin them cows, chop them cows up, and then come back and throw them on an open pit fire on a grate of metal. There is nothing like it. And I think the only thing they threw them, maybe like salt, pepper, and that's it. It didn't take any fancy marinades. It didn't take any tenderizing. It didn't take any of that. And they were cutting off pieces of meat that I see in our local grocery stores that I would say, I wouldn't even use that for stew meat. I mean, flank steaks. And it would melt in your mouth like a piece of hot butter. I am serious. It was that good. It was just some of the most amazing food. If any of y'all look at my site, I think I got a post on there where I showed some food. But it is all kind of food. It is a lot of European influence, from Italian to French to South American type foods. We had some empanadas, and the only time I've ever ate an empanada, it was probably a crawfish empanada. But I don't know what all they put in these things. They were just great. The seasoning in it was just, it's good. And in cities like in Buenos Aires, you walk up off the street and ask for, I want to get a asada sandwich or something like that. And it is just, it's not like, put it this way. If I were out surveying all day and I swung and I said, hey, grab something to eat, I'm hungry, and I could get something like that just off the street, oh my God. I'll tell you what, they take siestas too, and it's because they eat so dang good. And plus it gets hot in the middle of the day. Now me, I work straight through. But good grief. It's just, it's a different place. What I brought back. I picked my wife up a piece of leather work. I got myself a belt. I think my son bought him something down there. But I couldn't bring back that good beer they had. What I did find was this. Fernet. You only drink it with Coke and ice. That's it. It is, I mean, I can't read it, but 39. It's basically 40 proof, but it's kind of a liqueur. We sat around night one taking a drink because our waitress was or our tender or whatever you want to say. She was just the world's greatest hostess that you could have. I think I've got a picture that I'm linked to on there with Anise, and just, you talk about making you feel at home. But she mixed us one of these and says it's the most popular drink in Argentina, and I can tell you why. It's very, very good. It's kind of almost an acquired taste, but I would say at first we were thinking it had a little licorice taste. Nathan was saying that it tasted like I don't know. He said kind of like a NyQuil taste. I actually fixed one last night. My wife said it kind of gave her a little NyQuil feel. I finally figured out it's kind of got a Jägermeister taste to it. But that aside, what did I say? 40. No, I said 80. It's 80 proof, 40% by volume. You could probably knock a bottle of this out right here, and in the morning, no hangover. It's all herbs and different types of things that are in it. Not corn whiskey or anything like that. Oh my God, it's very, very, very good. Very smooth going down. It's got a little bit of a bitter taste. But once you finish the first one, the second one, and then the third one, and then they're on after they go down real good. But yeah, I wanted to check in. We back on it. We back on it now. Back out here, going to do a little surveying up until Friday. Got some other engagements coming up. May try to do another video after the holidays. Y'all all be careful out here. Memorial Day's coming up. A lot of crazies out there, especially if you can get out on the water. That's when the rookies go rent a boat. We are actually me and a surveyor from down in Fairhope, Alabama, that hails from Jackson, Mississippi. We're going to go down to Orange Beach and hop a boat on Memorial Day and go out offshore for about 8 hours and see if we can catch something good to eat, and then it's back home and back to it next week. After that, if any of y'all have the chance next weekend, not this weekend, the following weekend is the snake grabbing rodeo at Lake Washington, Mississippi. If you never saw that, if you got young kids, come up there on Saturday when they do the, or if you've got a boat, definitely go up there and launch it and take it and go watch it if you want to grab snakes. I know, they always ask me, Eric, why do you go up there to do that? And I said, well, I go up there for the show. I'm not going to grab a snake. Good grief, I'm a land surveyor. We try to avoid the damn things, but it's a heck of a good time. So if y'all get a chance, get up to Lake Washington. Hopefully the weather will be pretty. I know a couple of guys on here have done that. Took their kids up there, and I saw that. And I've been taking my son for many years to do that. It's all for a good cause, raising money. Things like that. They have a lot of raffles, and if you stay around, there's some rowdy nights of live music and dancing and things like that you can do. But always some good food, good friends, good fellowship, and it's for a good cause. So I want to give a shout out to the guys that promote and have been putting on that for many, many, many years now. That's the Mississippi Snake Grabbing Rodeo at Lake Washington, and that'll be not this weekend, but the next weekend that they'll be up there, and pretty much Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that type of thing. Or you can just go Friday, or you can just go Saturday, if you just want to drop in and see it. But it's a really, really, really fun thing to do, and it's definitely entertaining to watch them do the snake count at the end and do the trophy presentations and things like that. But yeah, if y'all get a chance, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It costs $1 or $2, but if you can put aside the extra money, and I would say that this is more of a guy's trip type thing. Although by all means, you take your wives, girlfriends, or whatever down there. It's just or your kids, because I got to go with my son. But you're just going to double, or you take like triple everything you would spend for the experience of doing it. But man, I can't believe it. Never been out of the country before. Like I said, other than hopping off a cruise ship for an afternoon in Cozumel and then hopping back on the cruise ship. So this was definitely an experience. From customs to checking. Nowadays TSAs, and they got PSAs down there, and the things you go through, and passports and everything like that. It was wild. Because I'm not a world traveler. I guess I am now. I'm a what would you say, cosmopolitan surveyor. So, but anyway, Chad, you wanted me to do this video. I really couldn't, give too much, I don't know, too many details or whatever. But it was a hell of a trip. I highly recommend it. If you want to go, you can check out their website. Like I said, it's and I know that's backwards, but Norte Hunters. Tomas Pitt is the lead contact with them down there. Pablo was our guide. We had great gun bears. They call them bird boys. I think that's kind of offensive. I'm being, because they were older than I was, but all these guys are just awesome. Your every need. You get tired, sit down. You like a cerveza, senor? Oh, absolutely. Gracias. Thank you. You take shots. They may and miss everything. They may laugh at you. No bueno. You're no good. But but still yet. And then you take shots and you miss everything. And they go, you got him, sir. 1 BB, 1 feather. Feathers. BB, 1 BB. So they make you feel real good about it. I just don't know how to say any more than it is definitely a bucket list trip. And if you can definitely make it, try to do it. Try to do it. Go with some people, some friends, some family. Especially, like I said, taking my son was, one of the greatest things ever. He and our hunts have always been local. We had never even done any guided hunts here in the United States, so this was just awesome. But give it a shot. But otherwise, y'all be safe out there. Starting to get hot. Got to get out there and make that money while we can. Try to stay hydrated and all that. Don't drink too many cervezas before. You'll be sweating them out the next day. And if you figure out where to find some, I've got 2 bottles of this, but if you figure out where to get some Fernet, try that out. Good stuff. Y'all be good. Thanks for watching.